Now this cocoa is ready. Hey, Joey Starr here for Starr Quality Kitchen. Today I'll be trying for the first time Aztec hot chocolate. Hot cocoa is a drink that was allegedly first enjoyed by the Mayans back in 1500 BC. That's only a bit over 3,500 years ago, but who's counting? The Mayans would make it with crushed cocoa, chili pepper, and cornmeal. Fast forward to the 1400s, and the Aztec people under Montezuma II, well, actually the ones that he deemed worthy, like such as royalty, the nobles, and Aztec warriors, enjoyed a variation of the original recipe, which consisted of crushed cocoa, chili pepper, and any variety of edible flowers, honey, and corn flour. Like the Mayans, the Aztec loved their chocolate froth, and they achieved this by pouring the cocoa from one container into the other and back and forth until it reached the desired consistency. And I tell you, that gives me flashbacks to when my Vol used to make café con leche when I was a little boy. I swear, she would pour that coffee back and forth in those 2 cups at least 20 times, minimum 20 times. So much love, huh? Eventually, the Aztecs were met with the Spanish conquistadores, who brought back the hot chocolate and altered it so that they took away the chili pepper, but they added more sugar. And then the drink began to spread across Europe and yada, yada, yada. Here we are, Angela. It just so happens that recently, somebody gave me a very thoughtful gift, the spicy Aztec hot chocolate mix from Lake Champlain Chocolates. Aztec hot chocolate is on my food bucket list, so what a wonderful opportunity for me to share my experience with you. So the directions call for heating up 8 ounces of your favorite milk. I'm actually going to heat up 16 ounces, a double portion, because I have special plans for this hot chocolate. And while the directions are flexible, I decided to use vitamin D whole milk because I believe that will give me the best possible experience for my first time trying this. They say you want to stir the milk as you heat it up, and also of importance is to heat it up until it's piping hot, but not boiling. So the way we're going to know that, you know how when you're heating up a liquid and it starts to move, but it isn't bubbling and it's not rolling around, that is when it is piping hot, but not boiling. So I'm going to heat this up until it gets to that state. Now the instructions call for 2 tablespoons of this cocoa mix for 8 ounces of milk. So I'm actually going to double that in this case. And I'll just go ahead and stir this up. It says to stir until thoroughly dissolve. So that means all these little chocolate bubbles that you see here, all those should all be punctured and disappear into this wonderful pool of hot cocoa. Now this cocoa is ready. Time to pour it into a nice mug. All right, so just between you and me, I've been waiting all day, thinking all day about having Aztec hot chocolate. I get up at 8 a.m. this morning and it is about 2:30 in the afternoon, so I've been waiting that long to try this out. First off, this distance, cup to face, it smells amazing. Just such a rich aroma. I can smell that cocoa like it's nobody's business. Smell a little bit of sweetness there. And in that cocoa aroma, I'm smelling what I consider to be authentic cocoa flavor. Reminds me very much of cocoa that I would try from South America and Europe and pretty much anywhere that's not the US of A. And that's not to knock Swiss Miss or Nestle hot chocolate, as those are really good too and they have their place. But this is a little bit more old school. And I feel like it's important to expose yourself to those types of variations and flavors just to help give you a well-rounded palate, if you will. This baby's nice and warm, which I really appreciate because it's kind of a cold day here in Danbury today. Bit on the dry side, but still cold, and this should be very warming and comforting. So let's go ahead and take a sip here. Whoa. Wow. Okay. So obviously it's hot as hell, so I'm kind of burned myself a little bit. That's okay, not a complaint. First hit with the cocoa flavor. It's a bit strong, but not aggressive. It's very smooth, And similar to how I described the aroma, definitely the kind of flavor I expect from foreign chocolate. Give it a sip here. Something I really appreciate about this particular hot chocolate is that it's not overly sweet. Again, not to knock the American name brands of hot cocoa that I've enjoyed for pretty much my whole life, but they tend to be very sugar heavy and very, very sweet. And while this is sweet, satisfyingly sweet, it's not on that same level. So I don't know how much sugar there is in 8 ounces of hot chocolate. This has got to be about half of that. At least it tastes that way. As for the spice factor, while it's definitely spicy, it's very passive, very subtle. It's not super intense. I would compare it to a very small amount of Tabasco sauce, or even less than that. In fact, I'll do you one better. Let's get commercial for a second. If you're familiar with Taco Bell's hot sauces, I'm just using that as an example because I know that more people can relate to that, but this is probably the equal to, or I wouldn't even say equal to, I'd say a little less than the mild sauce at Taco Bell. So I think pretty much, unless you absolutely can't even take a hint of heat, like even black pepper sets you off, then unless that's you, you're gonna be fine drinking this. And besides the fact that it's not very intense, it doesn't last very long either. It's almost like an afterthought. Like I take the sip, the spicy is the last thing to hit you, and then in about a second, it's gone. It dissipates immediately. So what I like about that is I got enough spice that A, it makes the cocoa a little more warming. B, it kind of wakes your senses, your sense of taste and your sense of smell, but it also helps cut a little bit back on the richness of the cocoa there. But it's not so much that it starts to take attention away from how smooth and tasty and sweet the cocoa is. It's almost an afterthought. When you take that sip, you don't even feel that spiciness until after you swallow the sip. And then a second later, it's gone. I find this really, really tasty. Now, I don't even know if like Champlain Chocolates puts out the best Aztec hot cocoa mix, but this is really damn good. And if you go to their website, and I'll leave a link to that in the description box below, and read the reviews, you're gonna find that, I think when I read it, it was like 86 or 87 reviews. Out of all of those reviews, one person gave them 2 stars out of 5, had a little bit of a negative thing to say, and everybody else was like 4 stars or higher. So I think that's really telling. And a lot of them had pretty much the same thing to say, which was that it was smooth, it was delicious, and the right amount of spicy. I think that's the key here, the right amount, right? Because if it was a little less, it wouldn't be detectable. But if it was a little more, it would take away from this flavor. This is like the perfect combination. So kudos to you, Lake Champlain Chocolates, for giving us a Aztec hot chocolate where the spice level is just right. This is the Baby Bears spice level. It's just right. This is about a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Truly, truly delicious. Highly recommend. So glad I got this. So glad my friends gave this to me as a gift. But wait, let's not stop there. After all, this is Starr Quality Kitchen. Let's bring this up to a Starr Quality experience, shall we? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Well, if you are, then you're thinking marshmallows. I know the Aztecs weren't dropping marshmallows into their hot cocoa, so this is where we leave the old school, go a little bit modern, and a little bit more North American. So I got these jet puffed mini marshmallows that I bought just specifically for this review today. No endorsement. And I'm just going to take a small handful and drop them into my cocoa. Give that like a good 20-30 seconds to just kind of start to melt in there. Then I'm just going to use my handy dandy Culiacci sopa. Just kind of mix this up a little bit. Get some of that marshmallow essence into the actual chocolate. And of course spread around the marshmallows and just kind of submerge them temporarily into the hot chocolate. So marshmallow gets into the chocolate, chocolate gets into the marshmallow. I mean, when all is right in the world, that's what happens. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take a nice spoon of this. You know what, let's get a little bit of the chocolate without the marshmallow. Let's see what it did to the essence of the beverage. Didn't do much to elevate the sweetness of there, of the chocolate, but it did help elevate a little bit of the smoothness. That's pretty interesting, huh? Let's try some with actual marshmallow in there. I got about 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, if you count the one hanging off the bottom, 5 mini marshmallows here with a colher de sopa of the hot chocolate. Let's try that. Oh my gosh. There you go. That's the experience you should be going for if you're going to try this. Sure, try the hot chocolate by itself, as I did, so you know what it tastes like, you know what you're dealing with. But do yourself a favor. If you like yourself at all, put some marshmallows into this mofo, because it's going to go from being freaking excellent to awesome. That is so good. I read that Montezuma II from the Aztec people drank 50 of these a day. That may or may not be an exaggeration. Well, if he would have had the marshmallows in there, he would have made that 100. All right, dude. Lake Champlain chocolates, spicy Aztec hot chocolate. First time trying it, and I'm so happy that I had the opportunity to try this. I don't even know if they're the best ones to make it, but I tell you what, this is freaking excellent. Highly recommend. I'm going to leave some kind of link for you to buy this for yourself. Even if I can't get an affiliate link out of it, who cares? You deserve to try this. If you like hot chocolate, you don't mind just a hint of a kick, this is for you. And then if you love yourself, add some marshmallows. What about you? What's your experience? Have you tried this hot chocolate before? Have you tried another brand of Aztec hot chocolate? What's your experience? What do you like about it? Do you have a favorite hack for drinking your hot chocolate? Something that enhances it besides, I added marshmallows, maybe you add something else. Let me know. I'm curious. It might be something I want to try for myself. Also, let me know if there's a particular brand of Aztec hot chocolate or any other kind of exotic hot chocolate, something besides the norm that I can just go to Walmart to get of hot chocolate that you think is worth me trying. And who knows, depending on what it is, how it is, I might review it and may give you a shout out. Thank you so much for watching Starr Quality Kitchen. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and stalk. Laters. Oh my gosh, that is so smooth and tasty and warming. This is like the best sundae I've had in a long time.